Hey, John here. So I'm just gonna go through how I use this myself, because I built it for myself initially because I find the loopers available have either a lack of features or I don't like how they feel when you use them. And what I mean by that is that how easy is it to actually make a loop. So I'm just gonna show you here with this live rendition of Cliffs of Dover. So obviously you probably know this song already, but let's say you just want to learn the song or you want to learn a specific lick, then first step will be to just press play. And as you can see here, here's the actual looper. This will pop up. And you can also, I have it here as a pinned plugin, so it will always be there, but you can decide not to have it here if you don't want, and you can also do this to minimize it so it won't get in your way. But here we are. So the first controls here are going to be the loop. So we want to put that on. Now you can see the A and B points here. It's going to span the whole song. It's like the default, but that's not very practical. So we just drag along here. And I like this one because if you find that like, you know, I want to work in 10-second chunks or whatever, then you can just set it to that. Doesn't have to be exact here for demonstration, and then you can just move the whole thing around, so you don't need to reset the loop. Another thing that really helps to make a loop easier to make is these increments here. So you have the A section here, so this is -1 second. So if I push that, you can see it goes back 1 second, minus half a second, minus 0.1 second. So you can really dial in a loop easily here. So I'll start by getting the, you know, general idea of where I want to be here, and then I fine tune it over here. So let's just press play here. And I use the space bar here to stop and start, and also the arrow buttons to go back and forth here. Say I want to fine tune that. That far, and then I can check here to 151, so I can go back this one. Then I would learn that lick and play along with it, right? I'm not gonna bore you to death by doing that here. Now, obviously, you want to be able to slow the tempo down here. You have some, you know, 50, 75, 90, and whatever, but you can do increments of whatever you want here. So let's go down to 76. As you can see, you can go quite low here. 25% is the lowest, but after that, just is basically too slow to be usable. So that's the limit here, but it's very clear, even though we keep the pitch and everything the same, right? And talking about pitch, you can fine tune it here. If you sort of want to work on like Pantera, for example, where you're going to be in between a half step down and regular tuning. It's a bit annoying. And of course you can transpose it here. If you listen to it. And another thing, it keeps the tempo even though you add, you know, you pitch it up, it doesn't speed up. Same thing here, you can pitch it down quite a bit. But it still keeps the tempo. Now, I have a HQ, so high quality thing here. And you can, that it says it adds some latency, but I haven't really seen much. And the latency is only in the video in that case, but I haven't been bothered by it. But if you remove this, you get a more wobbly reduction, which is still fine, but I definitely prefer the high quality one. And basically that's the meat and potatoes of this one, right? And the vocal reduction we can look at that later, but basically it becomes this karaoke function. So if you want to get some riffs that are behind vocals, you get this one up, and then you will basically hear the riff much clearer. For lead guitar it doesn't work at all because it basically takes away any lead instrument, right? So that's the basic thing, and then you can save this loop, and let's say we go EJ fast picking. Right? Now you can set it to learning, which it should be, almost, yellow, and got it, green. So you know you can use this sort of red light system to make sure that you know how far along you are with any particular thing you're working on. So I find it helpful to organize my practice. And then you can tag it as well. So I'm going to put it at alternate picking, even though he used some economy picking. You can also use more tags. Maybe you do a lot of Eric Johnsons. Maybe you do Eric Johnson. So you have all that stuff. And everything gets lowercase here, so you don't get a different tag just because you use any upper or lowercase characters. It will just be the same. And the tags, you will find those in the library later. But you can see here the last practice at 100%, and then you have the speed trainer, which now it's set to 50%, target 100%, and then step, it's gonna basically go up 5% per step, which you can choose here with the up and down. And then you can also decide how many reps per step. So in this case, the default is 5, but let's just do 2 so you can see how it works. So you start. Second one. Now it goes up to 55%. And you get the ready to stop. And now for the library, you can see here, Eric Johnson. Now this is saved per video. I'm going to show you that as well. And you can rename this if you don't like it. Now you have the whole video name, but you can rename it to just Eric Johnson, Cliffs of Dover, whatever you want. And then you can also go, you see what you have in this folder, and you can just move it as well if you want to put it somewhere else. Now it's going to be the second stage here. And also tells you this video. But let's say we go to Master of Puppets, for example. So Metallica, riffage, Kirking, solo. So I have 2 here from the same song. So I go to Master of Puppets. Now it's gonna go straight there to that riff. Slow down here. That's actually the vocals. And you see with the vocal reduction here, especially on these kind of recordings, you can really hear the guitar much clearer. So it's very helpful when you're trying to learn new things. Only caveat here is that you need to have high quality material. So if you have a really shitty, 96 kilobyte per second video, it's gonna sound quite garbled, but we'll do that anyway. So that's not the actual extension's fault, it's just the way it is. So most videos online now is gonna have good quality, so it will sound good. As you can see here, learning, you have the tags, and the last price at 75%. And also if I change anything here, this will light up and I can update the loop. So, but that I think is a really good thing. And then what I wanted to show you here is that if I go to the second part here on Master Puppets, interlude solo, it just stays in the same song, and then you can just continue on. So it saves in the same, every song or every video will have its own folder, so you can just save whatever section you want to work on, however many loops you want to have here. So this bit of a all over the place demo of this app, but you can see here all the tags. You have the ones you're learning still, and then the one you got almost, then the got it. I have nothing that I got. Oh, how embarrassing. And then you have the tags here, any, alternate picking. Actually, you need to go back to here, all, and then alternate picking. You can see that. Sign is alternate picking, Kirking, Eric Johnson, Metallica, Riffs, solo, and so on. If you put it to any here. So this works for any YouTube video, including shorts. Shorts are treated a bit differently, but it's basically the same idea. So if we go to this Yngwie, that was Marvin. Okay, that's not Yngwie. Actually, we can try the Marvin thing.
Harmonic structures drawn across the canvas of time. The lines are the...
Now, you don't want to slow this down per se, but I just want to show you how a reel would look. And you can see here, this is basically what happens. You find a normal reel. So if I go into here, let's see, Yngwie short. Do this one.
This is the way I use the fingering on a diminished arpeggio. It goes.
So basically, this is what it's going to look like first.
As follows.
But then when you save it, it opens up in its own window. But you just set the loop like this. And that's the same way that it works on Instagram as well. So that's basically a limitation of how these videos work. But you save it the same, and it works absolutely the same after that. So if we go to Paul Gilbert Instagram here, for example, you can see that it will open up on Instagram. And then you need to put on the volume. You can see how the loop works here. So you get the idea. So most of this, I use this mostly on YouTube, and I'm gonna keep updating it for Instagram because Instagram changes things around. So that's out of my control, but that's also why this subscription, so I can keep on top of that and fix it whenever something happens, and also new features that's gonna come up as well. So this was a very long introduction to this thing. So if you got this far without giving it a try, I don't know what to tell you except that give it a try. I'm sure you're gonna love it, and if you don't, just let me know within 7 days. You can email me and I'll refund your hard-earned $5. So see you in the next one.